Good evening, Canes fans. Peter Ariz here, bringing you tonight's edition of the post-game basketball show. If you guys thought post-game Pete was for football only, you must be new here. Basketball, we do it for basketball too. So, Canes win. Jay Lucas opener tonight. Just got back from the game. Shout out to Ariz Law, as always, for sponsoring all of the basketball content here on Canes Insight. Check out ArizLawPA.com for your estate planning needs. Plan your future so others don't. Again, ArizLawPA.com. You guys see it right here. Schedule your free consultation. Yes, this is my father. I know this is not stuff that we like to talk about in terms of trusts and wills and things of that nature, but it's very important stuff. So check it out, ArizLawPA.com. Whew, I got to tell you guys, man, it's been a lot. It's been a tough last couple years. It's been a really tough last couple years in terms of the basketball. I am a diehard Canes basketball fan. Really, for whatever reason, just holds an extra special place in my heart because I've been, going to the games at since it was the Convocation Center and following the team all the way through when I was in school, won the first ACC championship. And then obviously these last, 5 years have been such an up and a down with these last couple years. But it felt like really a new era tonight at the Watsco Center. Great energy in the building. You see what I got on here, and I'll just show it to you real quick here. It's a reminder of the past, and it's a glimpse into the future, ladies and gentlemen, because I strongly believe with Jay Lucas at the helm of the University of Miami, the steps are being taken in the right direction to get this program back to the promised land. And by the way, I don't think, is it an omen? We see Houston 2023, Jay Lucas, a Houston native. Let me tell you something. This team, we talk about how football, I don't really want to talk about football right now. I'll leave that for tomorrow. But it looks way different from a body type standpoint than what I've seen the last few years, from a height, weight, physicality standpoint. And I got to pull up my notes here, so I apologize if I'm looking down here. But basketball, obviously, such an up and down game. So many things happening throughout the course of the game. The first game with a completely new roster, completely new coaching staff. So I have a lot of things I want to get to here. But first off, I just want to say I'm keeping the expectations modest, as I think we need to do across the board, as I alluded to right after the game on Saturday. And I in terms of football, and I will get back to that tomorrow. I said I wasn't going to talk football, but I'm getting myself pumped up here. But I think my expectations are still modest. I'm not saying this is a team that's like a guaranteed tournament team. I'm not saying that they are going to be, a top 5 team in the ACC. I don't know yet. This is a Jacksonville team that they beat how they should have beaten tonight. But this was not a gimme win for this team the last 2 seasons, the way that things have been going. So you like to see them get off to that start. You like to see the amount of guys that played out there tonight. And I think just, again, regardless of who the opponent is, as someone who has gone to pretty much every single game, even the games against these teams that the last 2 years that you shouldn't have been losing to, you can. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. You can tell whether or not you have guys who can fundamentally play the game of basketball. This team, from a dribble, pass, shooting, we'll wait to see, and I'll get more into the shooting aspect of it here. But in terms of getting to their spots on the floor, getting downhill, getting to the basket, the size advantage they had tonight, and I think they're gonna have. This is a big team. This is not just, hey, this is a big team against Jacksonville. Like, across the board, this team has length and strength. But from a passing, rebounding standpoint, which Ernest Uday, big man in the middle, man. What a great debut for him. 14 and 14, I think was the final tally for him. A couple blocks, 5 for 5 from the field. DeAndre Jordan-esque traits in terms of his ability as a lob man, his ability to just be a big athletic guy who can move out there for his size too, right? I mean, he's 6'11", and he can run the floor very, very well. He does not look clunky whatsoever out there. So Jay Lucas, when he brought him in, told him, I believe you are an all conference in this conference, the ACC caliber 5. And listen, 14 and 14, that'll be hard to replicate moving forward, game in, game out. But I think we right off the bat see he's a guy who should be averaging a double-double, like with the minutes he's going to be given. So great start from him tonight. Malik Renew, Miami's leading scorer on the night, 20 points. A guy who got to all of his spots inside the paint there. Really a crafty scorer around the rim. Looks like he's put some good weight on, and also at the same time looked a step or two quicker than what I've seen on tape from Indiana. Shout out to Coach Zillner, the director of sports performance. I think defensively they were very competitive. This was not something that the team last year in particular was very they just weren't tough enough. They weren't in terms of the defensive side of the ball consistent enough. Offensively, the shooting 4 for 13 from 3. We understand that's not going to be the strength of this team, but I have to say, it was nice to know that they were not forcing those shots. So it's not like those attempts were, maybe a couple forced 3-point attempts, but really, I think that it was within the offense that you saw those shots come. So to me, it's one thing to say, well, you don't have shooters, but then you're still going out there and shooting it 20, 25 times from 3, and that's not your game. It seems like early on this team understands and knows what their identity is. And I think that's very important if you're going to be a team that has limitations that this team is going to have offensively, but at the same time, you can work with that and you can turn it into that big man line, that 2 big lineup with Malik Renew and Ernest Uday is going to be very interesting to see. We've been kind of saying, hey, how's it going to work out? Tonight we saw time and time again, Malik Renew was getting the ball there in that mid post. Once he turned, got his shoulder moving towards the basket, a lot like what we used to see from Jordan Miller. He's bigger than Jordan Miller, but as soon as he gets his shoulders turned to the basket, Ernest Uday was diving and had an easy, lob opportunity many times tonight, because if you're going to leave Malik Renew one-on-one with, by the way, yes, it's Jacksonville, but I don't know how many teams are going to have the size consistently to match up with a Malik Renew as a 6'9", 6'10" guy who likes to play in the paint, who has the ability to pass the ball as well, but really has that nice touch around the basket. Like, you're probably going to have a smaller defender on him when you have an Uday out there as well. So, I think Malik Renew showed he's going to be a guy who averages. I mean, he had 20 tonight. I think he's going to be a 15, 16-point scorer pretty easily this season for Miami, and just a really balanced effort. We'll get to Shelton Henderson in a second, who was one of Miami's best players tonight, even though he got in foul trouble, picked up 3 fouls, and then came in the game right when he came in the game in the second half, picked up a 4th. So, but 14 points from him, 15 points from him, and just we talked about how big he was. He looks like a football player out there, bouncing off of guys when he got in the lane. Did not have any sort of, it didn't seem like he was jittery at all. It seemed like he was composed. He was Just the body language was very good. And I think the body language as a whole, in terms of Miami's competitive nature, was great tonight. Trey Donaldson as Miami's point guard, 3 for 10 from the field. So not a great shooting performance for him, but does not let that affect him, right? And I think was unlucky with some bounces around the basket. But guy who consistently got downhill for Miami, was pushing the action, was really, this Miami team the last few years lacked a guy, or last 2 years, but really last year too as well. You did not have a guard who would get into the teeth of the defense and force a big man. He beats his guy off the dribble, and you force the big man to step up. You force one of these defenders on the wing to suck into the paint, and then you can kick out. Miami, Nigel Pack did not bring that element to Miami. Was a phenomenal shooter, obviously. Had the great run is going to be always a part of Miami's history, but his skill set for the team last year did not really help what we needed in terms of someone who could get downhill. Jaleel Bethea was really a jump shooter. He was not physically strong enough to really get downhill and beat someone. Trey Donaldson is someone who I think is going to consistently bring that to the floor for you. 11 points for him, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. So balanced effort, and I think he's going to end up being a guy who averages 14, 15 a game for you as well. Those shots will start to fall for him. He was 0 for 3 from the three-point line, but those shots will start to fall for him. True Washington, got to give him a shout out, man. I think he had been dealing with a hamstring issue recently, and that there was some talk if Dante Allen could potentially start in his place tonight, but his on-ball defense was phenomenal tonight. He had 3 steals. A couple of them led to opportunities in the open court the other way. 12 points. Really was nifty. I would use the word nifty, kind of knifing through the defense with the ball in his hands. Seen a couple times actually brought the ball up the court in a couple different rotations where he was or lineups, I should say, where he was the point guard. So that was I think he gave you a really good look tonight. 4 rebounds, 4 assists. So just looking across the board, man, balanced team, man. And I don't think there's a guys who have a ton of weaknesses on this team. I mean, again, the shooting will be what we continue to harp on, but guys can dribble, they can pass, and they can rebound. And as crazy as it sounds, this team did not have that last year. So yeah, guys, I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped about what I saw tonight, just in terms of building blocks. Bethune-Cookman, Miami has them on Thursday, took Auburn to overtime tonight. So was hoping they could pull that one out for Miami's strength of schedule, but Auburn gets that win. So Miami definitely going to have something to look at there. But yeah, man, I think, again, my bottom line here is I'm keeping these expectations modest. I'm not coming on here and saying, hey, from what I saw tonight, tournament team. But just little things, man. This team was when I said little things, it's more than just like the players on the court. I loved the energy that Jay Lucas brought to the sideline. Like he was really engaged the entire time. He was really working the refs, which I always would find annoying seeing opposing coaches work these refs. But it's what these guys do, man. And he was just so engaged the entire game. He was into it. Just seeing how he reacted with guys coming off the court, even, which I think is so important in today's game, man. It really, really is. He was talking to them a certain type of way. He was grabbing them, and they were being receptive with him. So this stuff is very important to me when I look at how those guys are reacting, and just, again, the body language was not good the last couple of years. You had probably, like, these teams last couple of years were 7 deep, 8 deep at most. You had a lot of guys play tonight, and you still have guys who are coming back. Noam Dovrat, from what I understand, still working himself back, as he was limited at the practice I was at. But Marcus Allen, transfer from Missouri, fantastic minutes for Miami off the bench. 7 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. But just like if you guys didn't watch this game, and if you guys can go find a replay, I'll try to find a link for you guys. But the ball just didn't really stick in one guy's hand. The ball was moving, just good team basketball. And this is all to say, yes, it's Jacksonville. They're going to play teams that are way more athletic. They're going to pressure more on the perimeter. It's going to disrupt things, but they've got some pieces to throw at people. You're not like, if you have a 7-man rotation, 6-man rotation of players that you really trust. And by the way, a couple of those guys were not really giving you anything in terms of dribble, pass, or rebounding. Like, if you can't do all three of those things, don't even talk about shooting. You know, we're not talking about NBA here. We're talking about college basketball. Like, you need to be able to keep that thing moving if the ball it gets in your hands. And like this team, the last couple of years had not had a very cohesive unit. These were games that were very difficult for Miami to win. Dante Allen, he was essentially Miami's 6-man tonight. He's going to play a lot for Miami. He was on the ball a lot. Combo guard. He can play the 1. He can play the 2. I think he had probably had some jitters tonight. Just being there live. It seemed like it took him the first few minutes to kind of get completely acclimated, and I guess kind of slowed down, I should say. But once he got into the game, once he got the ball in his hands a little bit more, he looked more comfortable. He did not get on the score sheet there, but he had a couple assists aboard. I had a couple nice decisions, drive and kick that I noticed. So, and he missed a couple 3-point shots, but again, those will start to fall for him. Timote Malovic, nice take in transition, kind of had a nice scoop at the rim, hit a 3-point shot, also got did he get fouled? Yeah, he got fouled, and he hit a couple free throws. So he's going to be a nice piece. Salih Altuntaj, backup center for Miami, who gave Ernest Uday some rest off the bench there. He looked big. He had a really nice block. I was pretty pumped up about that. So yeah, man, really a nice start here for Canes Hoops game 1. Got Bethune-Cookman on Thursday, and I'll be there for that one, man. And we're gonna be at all the games this year. Canes Insight, keep it locked. I think D and I will be on here tomorrow talking. You know what? Hold on one second. Let me. I got an important call to take. Give me one moment here. I had to take that call. I had to take the call, and I don't like to name drop, but I just told him I'd give him a shout out. Shout out to Canes Hoops great Jack McClinton, who was on the call tonight with my boy Kyle Seeloff, and I know they're going to be calling a bunch of these games here in the next month or so here as we get the non-conference play out of way. But yeah, man, Jack, I know he's fired up about the direction of this program here, and he really believes in what Jay Lucas has brought in the energy and the not only recruiting wise, but the basketball mind that he is, and the staff that he's built around him. So yeah, man, shout out to Jack, and when you guys get an opportunity to hear him on the call, man, go support for sure. And I'm gonna have him on the show coming up here in the next few weeks. We're just talking about that with him. So yeah, man, just wrapping things up here. Great win for the Canes, 86-69 against Jacksonville. Game 1 of the Jay Lucas era underway. Appreciate everyone who hopped on here. Nick Watson asking me, do you see Jay staying long term? Pete, man, it's so early. I gotta say, like, just being real with it, he probably, with his pedigree, has aspirations of being maybe an NBA coach. Like I'm not going to count anything out of the equation. That I just think he's that sort of like he's on a special trajectory. If you see where he's been in his career so far, and I'm not saying that Miami's a stepping stone job for him either, but I just like to say long term is relative, man. I think if he can get the sort of talent that he's recruiting now in place, and you have a good core group of vets where you got Renew, Udet, Donaldson, who are probably going to, not probably, but they're out after this year. But you got Dante Allen, who has another year after this. Shelton Henderson. Hopefully you get these guys back, right? But Henderson, the Euro guys, Salih Altuntaj, Timothée Malovic, they have multiple years of eligibility. Like doesn't want really one and done guys. He wants to kind of build this thing, and then you got a 5-star in Caleb Gaskins coming next year. Like long term, we all want long-term coaches, but I like what he's doing right now, and I think he can win pretty quickly once he gets his guys in here. So basketball is such a quick turnaround. There's 5 guys on the floor, and then you need a few guys depth-wise who can really contribute, but it's a different build than basketball. So I think he can get this thing turned around pretty darn quickly, man. So yeah, I would love for him to be here 10 plus years, but if we get 4 or 5 elite years out of him, then I'll take it as well. So yeah, man, appreciate you hopping on here and the energy. I'm a huge hoops guy, man. So I'll definitely be at all of the hoops games this year. Probably going to be making the trip to Jacksonville as well for the game against Florida. Going to be doing the tournament in Orlando as well around Thanksgiving there. But yeah, man, appreciate everyone who hopped on here with me tonight. Go Canes. See you guys tomorrow.